हेलो एवरीवन। आज हम पढ़ने वाले केमिस्ट्री ऑफ डायोरेटिक्स। उसमें सबसे पहले हम पढ़ेंगे उसका क्लासिफिकेशन। जैसे कि हमें पता है इट्स क्लासिफाइड इनटू दी थ्री मेजर ग्रुप्स, दैट इज़ द हाई सीलिंग, मॉडरेट इफिकेसी एंड वीक डायोरेटिक्स। इन दिस these are chemically classified as under sulfonyl derivatives. सल्फोनॉइल डेरिवेटिव्स में हमारे दो ड्रग्स आते हैं। एक आता है फ्यूरेसेमाइड, उसका स्ट्रक्चर आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हो, एंड सेकेंड ड्रग इज़ दी ब्यूमेटेनाइट। सबसे पहले बात करेंगे हम फ्यूरेसेमाइड की, विच इज़ ऑल्सो नोन एज एन फ्यूसेमाइड। सो दिस ड्रग इज क्लासिफाइड अंडर द डेरिवेटिव्स ऑफ द फेनामिक एसिड, एंथ्रेनिक एसिड, or even the 2-amino benzoic acid. And the reason behind this is the simple, like as we could see in this at the second position there is presence of amino group, and at first position this is the benzoic acid. That's why it is classified under the 2-amino benzoic acid. And if we see, if we just attach the benzene over here, that will become the anthranilic acid. That's why it is classified also under the anthranilic acid derivative or the phenamic acid derivative. The next drug we have under the sulfomoyl derivative is the bumetanide, and this drug is classified under the 3-amino benzoic acid. Again the reason is same, the amino group which is present at the third position, and its name is also indicate that there is presence of the butane at the amine group. So that's why it is also called as an meta-aminobenzoic acid. And at the fourth position we could see there is presence of the phenoxy group. Moving on to the next category, which is the phenoxy acetic acid derivative. In the phenoxy acetic acid derivative we have the drug which is called as phenanthrene. This is the phenoxyacetic acid derivative, and which is also classified under the acryl derivative. The reason they have classified it under the acryl derivative because there is presence of the acryl group. As we know that acryl is the sp2 hybridized carbon which is attached to the carbonyl carbon. The next category we have the organomercurial, and the drug which can come under the organomercurial is the mersalil. The next class we have, that is the medium efficacy diuretics. In medium efficacy diuretics we have again two classes, that is the thiazides and thiazide like diuretics. These thiazides are chemically known as the 1,2,4 benzothiazidines, and the general structure of these is shown in this diagram. So numbering start from the sulfur atom. At the second position there is presence of the amine group, and this presence of this hydrogen leads to the acidic character of the sulfonyl group. And as the SO2 is an electron withdrawing group, so the proton on the second nitrogen atom easily lose, and therefore it has an acidic character, and salt is also formed on the same position, that is on the second nitrogen. If we talk about the third position of these thiazides, the C3 position substitution alters the duration of action and the potency. If you put any substitution on this third carbon, that will alter the potency or the duration of action of these thiazide derivatives. And this C3 substitution can be an alkyl group like the CHCl2, or the alkyl halide like CHCl2, alkyl aryl like the CH2 which is attached with the benzene, or alkyl aryl thioether, or even the alicyclic ring. Now moving on to the next part, that is the if there is presence of the double bond between the third and fourth position, we remove the double bond between third and fourth position, then the activity will increases by 3 to 10 times. And we could see in this diagram, if there is presence of the double bond between third and fourth position, that drug will be the less potent. If you just remove this double bond, then the activity will increase by around 3 to 10 folds. Next position, that is the fourth position and fifth position, and also the eighth position. If we substitute anything on this fourth, fifth, or eighth position, the activity of diuretics will decrease. Moving on to the position number 6, on we have to remember on position number 6 there is always presence of electron withdrawing group. That electron withdrawing group can be an chlorine or can be an methyl trifluoride. Then moving on to the next position, that is position number 7, the sulfonamide group on the 7th position should not be substituted. We have to remember, like, there is always presence of the sulfonamide group on the 7th position, but this sulfonamide group should not be substituted. And if you could see, this sulfonamide group is the open sulfonamide, and this is a less acidic. But if we compare it with the cyclic sulfonamide, which is a more acidic, this question may be asked in a GPAT exam. Moving on to the next structure, next class of the drug, that is the thiazide drugs. Now we will discuss about the drugs. The first drug which come under this category is the chlorothiazide. And if we remember, the chlorothiazide and benzthiazide, if you remember, there is a presence of the double bond between the third and fourth position. That simply indicate that these drugs are the less potent as compared to the other. So there are only two drugs which has double bond between third and fourth position. These are the chlorothiazide and benzthiazide. These are only two drugs which has double bond between third and fourth position. And again, in case of benzthiazide, there is presence of methyl sulfur, again methyl and benzene. Moving on to the next two drugs, which are the hydrochlorothiazide and hydroflumethiazide. If we compare the structure between the hydrochlorothiazide and chlorothiazide, there is only difference of the double bond which is present in between the third and the fourth position. If you just remove that double bond, that will become the hydrochlorothiazide. And if we talk about the hydroflumethiazide, there is presence of the methyl trifluoride group. That's why it is called as hydroflumethiazide. Moving on to the next drug, which is the bendroflumethiazide. In case of bendroflumethiazide, again, its name indicates that there will be presence of benzene, and flume, that indicate the methyl trifluoride, which we could see on the position number 6. The next drug we have, that is the methiclothiazide. In again methiclothiazide, there is presence of the methyl chloride at the position number 3. Moving on to the next drug, which is trichlomethizide. In case of trichlomethizide, there are presence of 3 chlorine, but these 3 chlorine are not present together. 2 chlorine atoms are present on position number 3, which is attached to the methyl group, and the another chlorine atom which is present on obviously on the 6th position, which require. The next drug we have, that is the cyclothiazide. This compound is the bicyclo, or which is also called as a bridge compound. And we have to remember, in this drug there is presence of the non-boron ring at the 3rd position. Moving on to the next class, that is the thiazide like diuretics. In the question may be asked only on the which rings are present or the of which derivative these are. That's why we will cover this in a very short. The first thiazide like diuretic class, we have the quinazoline derivatives. In quinazoline derivatives, we have the cunethazone and metolazone. These contain quinazoline ring. Another class we have, that is the 1-oxo isoindole derivative, which is also called as thalidomide derivatives. And drug come under this is the chlorthalidone. The next class we have, that is the benzamide or the indole derivative. In benzamide or the indole derivative, we have the indapamide, or the in this indapamide, indolene ring is present. The next class we have the salicylamide. In the salicylamide derivative, we have the zipamide drug. So that is for today, and we'll see the another two classes in another video. Thank you.